Hello everyone, and welcome to Tabletopia's seminar on running a learn and play event. I'm Mark from Tabletopia, and I hope you've been having a fantastic Gen Con online so far. Today I'm going to talk to you briefly about running a learn and play event and what that is. So on Tabletopia, we run these things called learn and plays, where basically people can come in, watch the designer or developer of the game, learn it from them, get them to teach them the rules, and then they get to immediately get match made afterwards and play the event. So I'm going to cover things as thoroughly as I can. I'll also teach you how to run your own, maybe not even through our Tabletopia Twitch channel, but just by yourself. So I'm going to cover the basics of running a web stream as well. If you have any questions for me, please don't hesitate to pop them in the Twitch chat, and I'll be sure to answer them as soon as I can. So just a brief recap about Tabletopia. Tabletopia is a digital sandbox that lets you play your favorite games online. There's no automation involved, so players need to know the rules beforehand. We essentially give you the pieces, and then you get to play the game, and it's like sitting across the table from someone in real life. Now, it's playable in multiple ways. It's available on web browser. Steam has an application for it as well, and there's a limited selection of games on iOS and Android. Our catalog is mostly free. We have some premium games, and those premium games are profit shared with the developers and designers. So that's a nice way for you to get a little bit of income if people really enjoy your game. We see 500,000 users each month. Over 100,000 active players, which means people who are subscribed and actively playing the games. And our top games see 4,000 hours roughly of playtime a month and thousands of players. So it's really exciting if you're one of those top games. Let me just briefly show you those top games. This is 1 month of Tabletopia. And you can see here our most popular game by far is actually Secret Hitler, which is surprising because it needs to be paired with Discord or voice chat or even video chat, and yet people seem to flock to it. It's actually very popular in Russia. You also see we've got these premium Stonemaier games. They do quite well. And you can actually have a lot of success if you're just a small game. Trust Me, I'm a Doctor right here. Was a small Kickstarter that only had about 900 backers, but it blew up on Tabletopia. And once again, that is a social deduction game, so it did quite well. And if you think Secret Hitler is awesome, Jilly Pie, you're more than welcome to join us for our Secret Hitler our Secret Hitler play session that we've got coming up shortly. So now you're in good company if you're on Tabletopia. There's all these wonderful companies that we work with, Mayday Games and Stonemaier and Stronghold, Arcane Wonders. So we've got some little quotes from some of our favorites here as well. Jamie Stegmaier's a big fan. Vital has all his heavy hitters. So we've got On Mars and we've got Escape Plan, both of which are sitting on my shelf and eagerly still awaiting play. So Tabletopia is probably the only way I'll really get to play them with other people right about now. Alright, so let's get down to brass tacks. What is a learn and play event? So we all know the feeling when you go to play a game, but nobody knows the rules in your group. To prevent the battle of reading pages of instructions, we run special events with publishers and game designers. So these events have the following structure. So a learn session where you watch this live stream on Twitch, and if you're live on our Twitch right now, you can actually go back and look at some of our back catalog and see some of these events. Then a play session where all the viewers go to our Discord channel to the hashtag learn and play channel. These people then get match made so they can play the game together, and the developer or designer gets to hang out in the chat and answer rules questions and do clarifications. Now, we also have the option for running 2 sessions. So if it's on the same day, we like to run a Europe session and then a US session. That way you get a variety of players and people will have a chance to play it regardless of their time zone. So here we've got a little example of some of the Mordendice ones we've done. Mordendice have been very strong supporters of the Learn and Plays, and so you can see here they had a teach of Teotihuacan. I'm very bad at pronouncing that, but I did my darndest. And what they did was they taught the rules live, and they had a live playthrough with David Turksey, the designer, one of the designers, excuse me. And then they went to Discord and sat in the chat and were able to help people. They also had a Traintopia session, and for that, they had Meeple University on as guests. And so it's also a nice way to get content creators involved where they will be able to play the game with you, and that can get some eyes on your game as well. So what are the benefits to the publisher of doing a Learn and Play session? So you get direct communication with gamers. You get visibility on Tabletopia. So if you're doing a Learn and Play session, and we've planned it ahead with enough time, we'll put you in the news section, we'll write a newsletter, we'll do social media mentions, we'll encourage people to sign up. And so we have a Google form that encourages people to register. So you kind of have a gauge ahead of time about how many people at least express interest in wanting to join you. As you probably learnt this weekend at Gen Con, not always are you going to have everyone turn up for every single event. Games on Tabletopia can receive thousands of hours of playtime by potential customers who then go on to buy the physical product or back your Kickstarter if you happen to be a Kickstarter. It's also potential space for advertising a special offer for a physical copy of the game. So you may encourage people to join the Learn and Play session by saying, and if you participate in our Learn and Play session, we'll give you a 20% off code on our web store. And so that's a nice way to sort of get people playing the game and then loving it and then immediately going out and purchasing it. And there's also potential banner space on the front page of Tabletopia, which is not a guarantee. We can't guarantee anything when it comes to where things get placed on Tabletopia, but we like to offer that as an option. So what do we need from the publisher? An announcement in social media, a website, and newsletter. We also need you to have a guest on for your stream, preferably a content creator, like a game designer, an influencer, a live streamer, a blogger, anyone that can get eyes onto your game and onto your session. We also need a host who can live stream it, and teach the rules fairly succinctly and with actual clarity, and is able then to take answers on the Twitch, and then can stick around afterwards and answer questions in the Discord if anyone has any. So, from the publisher, there's a few proficiencies we require before we get people to actually come onto our personal Twitch channel, and before we'll publish it very heavily. But if you are streaming on our Twitch channel, we need to verify that you're pretty comfortable with the following. So the Tabletopia controls and troubleshooting, web streaming with OBS or similar, and I'm going to run you through a bit about how to do that briefly, and also rules teaching. So this is good if you're a designer of the game, because you already know your game fairly intimately, and you should be able to communicate it to people. So this ensures that people have a good experience, and we're vetting this. We vet this because we want to make sure that people are happy with your game, and it maintains the quality of our Twitch channel so that people walk away feeling like they can rely on coming to Tabletopia's Twitch channel, watching a gameplay, and walking away feeling like they can actually play that game and have a good experience with that. And we want people to be happy with your game too. We don't want them to be frustrated and feel like they can't enjoy it. So if that sounds good to you, what do you do? So you'll want to contact myself, Mark at tabletopia.com, to arrange a time and discuss availability. We prefer if your presenters have experience with Twitch and live streaming, and we're sort of getting a bit more strict with that. We just want to, again, make sure that there's no technical issues. We're happy to provide tech support, but we definitely want to make sure that you can handle a lot of it on your own. And the further out you contact us is better, as we can plan the social media and promotion side of things. So this also means we can collect more signups and make the event more worthwhile to you. And the bigger the event, the more worthwhile it'll feel to your participants as well, because they're surrounded by lots of people who are excited about your game. So I'm going to talk briefly about OBS and live streaming. Oh, and I'm sorry, and I should just backtrack slightly. When it comes to contacting us and running your Twitch, running your live and play on our Twitch, it's good if you practice maybe doing it on your own channel. You might have your own audience base that you can reach, and if you can sort of do that there as well, that's no problem as well. Now, I'm going to talk about OBS live streaming, and I'm going to give you a very quick overview of how that functions. So OBS is open broadcaster software, and it's one of the most common live streaming tools used for both streaming to your platform and controlling what your audience sees. So in this case, you want your audience to be able to see Tabletopia and your webcam. So you're kind of looking at what I'm looking at right now. You also see that I popped the Gen Con logo and the Tabletopia logo in the top right corner. And these are all things that I control through OBS. And that makes sure that what is being seen is controlled by you. A PC is preferable. It is Mac compatible, but it's not the smoothest experience that I've seen. And I'm going to talk briefly about the difference between OBS and Streamlabs OBS. You may run into a thing called Streamlabs OBS. So this is built upon the original OBS. Now, fundamentally, there's no issue if you use either. Don't be freaked out if my instructions show you OBS and you accidentally have downloaded Streamlabs OBS. They're actually based on the same software. Streamlabs OBS is simply Logitech's version of OBS, but both should work just as functionally the same. Now, because I'm broadcasting in OBS right now, I can't actually live show you how to use it. So I'm going to play you a video I made earlier, which will take you through the basics of how to run OBS. And when we come back to live right now times, I'll be happy to answer any questions that pop up. So enjoy, pass to me. So now I'm going to take you through downloading and using OBS Studio, which is this one, Open Broadcaster Software. And so I've gone to obsproject.com, and here you can download OBS to your platform of choice. And once you have this, it's one of the most powerful tools you can be using for recording and live streaming and sharing your desktop environment to people. Now you're going to install OBS, and once you've got that, it looks like this. Now, the first time you run OBS, it may try and run the auto configuration wizard. It's nice, but it's not going to give you the control that you want if we're just starting from scratch, which I'm going to show you how to do. So we'll just cancel that. And what we've got here is this blank canvas, and this black screen, this black area, is what your audience is able to see. So right now we've got nothing there. And the way we're going to populate that is with sources. So down here you see we have sources, and these are the available components that we can add and splice together and put on this black screen. And I'll show you how that really works. So the first thing you'll notice I've got here, I've got Tabletopia open in Firefox. And so let's say I were in a game. You'd be able to see the game in Firefox. I'm going to go to OBS. I'm going to click the plus button, and I'm going to add a source. Now, there's a lot of things that pop up here. What we are looking for is window capture, and that's probably the one you'll use the most. And window capture essentially picks a specific open window that you have and allows you to display that. So if I click window capture, and I'll name it Tabletopia, you can now see I've got Firefox selected, and Firefox is now visible in this black screen, and that's actually what is visible to people were I to be streaming. So you'll see here I can actually switch between a couple of things. So for example, I could have Discord up, I could get my calculator up for some reason, which I don't need. I'm going to go to Firefox. I'm going to hit OK on that. So now I've got Firefox and it's visible to anyone who I would be streaming to, but you can also see it's a bit big. So what I'm actually going to do there, is resize it by clicking this red box here. I can drag that and that'll resize the canvas. So what I want to do is get it so it fits nicely and takes up the entire canvas here. And now this is what people will see. But let's say I wanted to add something else, like I wanted my logo or I wanted my webcam. Well, that's a very simple way to do that. I can add more sources and this will begin layering things on top of what can be seen. So I'll hit the plus button and let's say I add an image. Now I'll call this logo and I'm going to browse to my Tabletopia logo, which I keep right here. And there it is. And now I can drag this around. I can place it wherever I want. I'm going to pop it here. I can resize it if I want as well. And it'll sit right there. And now that'll be part of the live stream. So were I to actually manipulate, Firefox in here, go to different pages, that's reflected in OBS. It's a live view of what you are actually interacting with. Now, the interesting thing about this is I've got Firefox selected. I can actually bring up other elements on my screen. Like, for example, I can bring up my browsing folder. And that is not reflected in OBS. That's because you're not recording your entire screen. You're recording only Firefox and that logo. They're the only two visible elements. So right now, the other thing I'd want to do if I were live streaming would be to add a webcam. So I'm just going to briefly disable my webcam for this stream so I can show you what it's like in OBS. So I'm going to click the plus button, go to the, where is it? I'm going to go to the video capture device. I'm going to call it webcam. And the source for me is this webcam right here. Now I just have to turn it off in my, yes, that's the problem. Turn it off in my other software. And now I will select it here. And there it is. Here I am. Hi, I'm in OBS. But you're also seeing me through another OBS, which is a bit bizarre. But here I am. Now I can resize myself. I can take up the entire thing if I really want. But I'm just going to pop myself down in the bottom right corner. And that's typically how I would run the stream. You can, of course, modify it however you want. You can make it really cool and do whatever you want. I could also do things like add my Twitter handle. So I might go plus button, add text, and I'll call this Twitter, and I'll add @Tabletopia Games, and I've got that giant text. Just resize it, pop it down here. Now, should I wish to make any modifications, I can actually just double click back into that and it'll bring back the options. What I want to do is add a little back. You've got a lot of options in here. There's many things you can toy with, but I'm actually just going to add a little bit of background opacity, and I'm going to increase that to 80%. And now you'll see it's got that nice shade behind it, so it pops out from the background. And that's really it. So now I've got my scene set. I think this would be a good stream, which I'd be happy with. So the next thing that you'll want to do is double check your audio. And now one thing I haven't done is added an audio source. So I'm going to go, when you add your webcam, you may see your audio pop up here. You may not. That's okay. We can hit the plus. We can go audio input capture. We'll call it mic. And I'm going to add the default mic, which in this case is just my webcam. And now you can see the bars here when I talk. Oh, it's very loud, but that's fine. I can adjust the volume down as well. And now I've got a mic. If I'm silent, nothing happens. If I'm talking, you can see the bars moving. And that's a way you can make sure that you're actually being heard. Now, once you've checked your audio, you want to configure your streaming destination, because I'm actually pretty happy with this. So I can hear myself, I can see the game. So what we're going to do is click this button here, which will take me to settings. And the settings you care about is stream. So what you're going to do is select the service that you're streaming to, be it Twitch, be it YouTube, Facebook Live, Restream, or Twitter. In this case, I'm going to use Twitch. And then you're going to use your stream key. Now, this is different for every service, but if you just Google the name of your service and how to get stream key, it's a very simple thing. It's just not a thing you've known to look for before, but it's going to be very simple and easy to find. You're going to punch your stream key into there and hit OK. Now, what a stream key is a code that talks to, in this case, Twitch, and tells it, hey, when I hit stream, I'm going to, in this case, Tabletopia's channel. Or if you entered your stream key, I'm going to my channel. So the stream key is just a way that OBS talks to Twitch and tells it that I'm streaming through this channel. So when I stream out and I hit the streaming button in OBS, it's going to go through the Tabletopia Twitch channel. So I'm just going to hit OK and have applied that. So now the one thing that you want to do before you go ahead and finish up and get ready to stream it out is go to your service that you're streaming to itself. So go to Twitch if you're streaming to Twitch, go to Facebook if you're streaming to Facebook. And you'll want to toy around and make sure that you've named the next stream that pops up. So a lot of these streaming services have the ability to name them. So I'll bring up an example with Twitch. This is Twitch's backend. This is Twitch's stream manager. So you can see in the stream manager over here, I've got the title. What I'm going to do is actually type in the title of my stream. In this case, the next stream I'll be doing is Mission to Planet X, and add that and hit save, because OBS has no way of telling Twitch what to title this stream. However, if you've gone ahead and named it ahead of time, it will then know that's what the stream will be called. So in your case, if you're doing a playthrough, you'll call it playthrough of my game. If you're doing a rules overview, you call it rules overview of my game. And that's it. You're set up and you're ready to stream. You can just hit the start streaming option down here, or the start recording option if you just want to record a video. And I highly recommend recording a video before you stream, just 5-10 seconds of you talking, and then you can watch it back just to see and make sure that you're sounding the way you want to. You can also, if you go to the settings, you can actually go to the output, and you can see the recording path. I'm not sure how it looks in Mac, but on Windows, the recording path is where the video will be saved if you did a recording. So that's another option you have. So all you have to do now is hit start streaming, and that start streaming option will turn into a stop streaming, and you'll hit stop streaming when you're done. And that's all there is to it. Enjoy your new found Twitch obsession. Okay, welcome back. I hope that was informative. Don't worry, you get used to watching yourself after a while. Now, just to quickly recap everything I covered in there, and please, if you have any questions, now's the time to pop them into Twitch chat. If you have any questions, I'll be sure to answer them. But to recap, you'll open your game on Tabletopia in your preferred browser. You'll download and install OBS. Skip the setup wizard on the first run. Set up your sources. Begin by deleting the defaults. If any defaults appear when you first set it up, just hit the minus button and click them, hit the minus button, and they'll disappear. You'll add window capture to select your window that contains Tabletopia. Resize your windows appropriately so that they fit your blank canvas. You'll repeat this as necessary with additional sources like your webcam and your logo and your imagery. And double check your audio before it goes out. Make sure it can be heard, and make sure you haven't clicked the mute button. That's the little speaker icon underneath. It will go red if you are muted. Configure your streaming destination in the settings. In my case, I showed you off how to do that for Twitch, but you can do that for whatever platform you decide to stream to. Name your stream on your service of choice and begin streaming. That's about it. I'll be clipping that specific video that I just showed you, which should help you. And now you're comfortable enough to stream, and I reckon you could try it out with any of your audience. So once you feel comfortable with streaming on your own, approach us and we'll be able to host you on our Twitch channel. We're more than happy to have designers and developers show off their games, and in fact it saves me having to do it, but the reason we want you to be comfortable, again, is so that the audience is happy and that you're happy with the quality of what comes out. Streams go out on Twitch and then are re-uploaded on other social media platforms at least 24 hours later. So Twitch has an exclusivity policy in place when you're a certain account tier like we are. And that just means we can't restream it elsewhere for 24 hours. Because we have a thing called affiliate status, which you will get after streaming for a bit. Thank you for joining. That's all there is to it. Now you know how to stream, and now you know how to run a learn and play event. I hope this has been informative, and I hope this gives you the tools to at least get started and figure things out. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to shoot me a question on Twitch. My email is on the screen right now, and it's been a pleasure. I hope you enjoy the rest of Gen Con, and happy gaming. See you around.